If you have thought about changing from an MX5 to a Boxster, you're not alone. In this video, we will compare my move from the MX5 NC, including along the way the addition of a race MX NC that we built, to the Boxster 987S. What I love about it, what I did not know when I started the journey. I will share why I changed over and whether I consider this an upgrade. My journey with the MX started with an NA, which launched at the Chicago Auto Show in February of 1989. This was a convertible that took the world by storm. The second one is a blue MX that was a hardtop convertible, the NC model from 2008. Whilst the NA was light with a few creature comforts, this was not the case with the NC, that many say was one of its disadvantages, that it had gotten too much overweight. The Mazda MX5 NC, the third generation of the MX5, was manufactured from 2005 to 2015. At its introduction in 2005, it won Car of the Year in Japan and made Car and Driver's Top 10 Best list from 2006 until 2013. Over my 7 years of ownership, I made many modifications to the MX5, including upgraded brakes, Vertex rims, coilovers, Goodwin headers, MagnaFlow rear box, and open flash tune. These improvements really made a massive difference, and I got many thumbs up when driving around, maybe even more than I get for the Boxster. As the build of the street-going MX neared completion, I got involved in amateur racing. And where I live, here and in our neighbouring country, they allow wheel-to-wheel racing, which is really great fun. But I found out that I was soon going to destroy my street NC, as you can see in this clip. So I bought another MX, a 2007 ragtop NC, and we built it up into a full race car, complete with a built 2.5 motor that made an impressive 180 horsepower at the wheels. This was a wicked machine on the track. When I sold it, I put the engine into my street car, which left it still drivable. Comparing the MX to the Boxster, this is definitely one area where you will notice a huge difference in performance. The MX on the track is certainly more flickable. With a brake dab and a steering input, you can lift and plant that rear end for a more straight, more direct corner exit. The Boxster, on the other hand, feels incredibly more planted. Probably that 700-pound weight difference coming into play. But the lap times are still better with the Boxster, at least for the MX race. On my local track, the Mazda is still a good 3 seconds faster than I've ever gotten out of the Boxster. I always loved the Porsche brand, especially the 911 turbos from the 90s. I used to have a 944 turbo back then. My boss had a slant nose turbo that was a pure beast. I got some ride in other Porsches and drooled over more, and I always dreamed that one day I'd get a convertible Porsche, since the Miata experience made me fall in love with the open top experience. Since the 911s are a little out of my price range, but then one day I came across this 08 stock 987S with only 30,000 miles on it. It was Tiptronic, which I was happy about because after 40 years of changing gears, that was kind of getting old on me. Was it time to leave the MX? That was the question. On the first day I test drove the Boxster, I instantly felt significant difference between it and the MX5. The one word I would say is quality. There's an edge of superior mastery in the layout, design, construction of the 987 that one simply does not find in the MX5 NC. And after 7 years with the MX5, I think you might know the verdict. And, much as I hate to say it, even less so in the ND. I rented an ND the same year I bought the Boxster, and I did not like it really at all. The MD just felt a little tame to me. On that first test drive, I also noticed that the AC in the Boxster was icy chill. This was always an issue I had with the Street MX, is that it constantly struggled to keep the cabin cool, despite a double-core radiator, hood vents, and extractor fans. I could never really get the AC to work. The Boxster does not bat an eye in this department, even in loaded traffic or after 3 or 4 hours pounding on the track. I can flick on the AC and drive home in comfort. Overall though, the reliability of the Boxster and the MX&C have been pretty even over my 10 years of ownership of both. And because I like to drive both really, really hard, I also do a lot of preventative maintenance, which really helps to cut down any breakdowns or the need for tows. The cabin is much bigger in the Boxster. There is much more luggage space too, which in the MX was quite limited. The convertible top on the Boxster has a 3-layer construction, so conversations are not shouting matches as they are in the ragtop MX versions. My 08 MX5 NC was shouty and fast and drew a lot of attention, but the Boxster is elegant and reserved when required. And then, in the click of 2 buttons for the valved exhaust and the throttle control, it can be instantly transformed into a screaming monster. The race engine that we put in the MX pulled a respectable 180 at the wheels, but the Boxster, in its current state of development, is getting 335 at the wheels, and that is with no internal mods, just all bolt-ons and software. The Boxster is just a symphony when wide open. 0 to 60 in 5 seconds versus 0 to 60 in 7.2 with the MX. This is a huge difference that you can feel in your pants. And the sound it's really not comparable. I mean, the sound of the Boxster right now is just pure magic. There's something amazing about the range of sounds that you can get out of the Porsche Flat 6 motor. On fuel economy, the MX was definitely more frugal, at least on longer trips, and the Boxster can get down to a very sad 10 kilometers per gallon when she's trashed on the track. So in order to get the Boxster 987S and to afford the myriad of mods I've done to it over the past 2 years, I ended up selling both my race MX and my street MX. So the question is, does 2 NCs equal 1 987S? And speaking of mods, you can probably budget on about a 20 to 25% increase in the cost of aftermarket products for the 987 if you shop around wisely. I was kind of pleasantly surprised by this because I thought that modifying a Porsche was going to be really, really prohibitively expensive, but it wasn't. And on maintenance, brakes, oil change, plugs, etc., these are actually easier to do at home than they were on the MX and cost about the same. That's something else I was kind of shocked about and happy about at the same time. So my move from the MX5 to the Boxster was a very fluid and natural one. The question I always ask myself is, would I go back? To which I get the clear answer, no. The fact that my Boxster is like 2 cars now, cruiser when needed, race monster when needed, is incredible. And more than enough for me to justify my move. It's not an upgrade. It's, at least to me, just more of the same. And that original same in the MX was great. So just imagine what more great is like.